again to you, my YouTube family. How are you doing? I'm trying to do a very brief live today, and I'm looking at a topic today. We call it Best of the Best, the greatest that has ever done it. And we're looking specifically at the male 110-meter hurdles and the male 400-meter hurdles, and to see who have been the best exponent of both events. Now, let us just briefly look at, say, the men's 110-meter hurdles, where we have vying for the title. One, Allen Johnson of the United States. Then we have Grant Holloway, also of the United States. We also have Roger Kingdom of the United States. And I would just want to leave it probably with those three. Eh? So we would have now Allen Johnson, Grant Holloway, and Roger Kingdom. And we might also want to look at Lee Calhoun, right? We want to look at those four. Now, in terms of the world record, the holder of the world record is actually Aries Merritt of the United States at 12.80. So in terms of the athlete who have gone the fastest in the 110 hurdle, it would be Aries Merritt. But in terms of feat of accomplishment, qualitative accomplishment at the Olympics and at the World Championship, Roger Kingdom would have won twice at the Olympics, in 1984 as also in 1988, and in 1956 and in 1960 Lee Calhoun would have also won at the Olympics. So Roger Kingdom would have won twice and Lee Calhoun would have won twice, but they did not have any world championship titles. Okay, notwithstanding that, the Olympics is the highest global championship. So in terms of athletes who have won the most at the Olympics, it would be between those two athletes, Roger Kingdom of the United States and Lee Calhoun, also of the US, who would have done it first with Kingdom 1988 and 1984 and 1988 back to back, and 1956 and 1960 by Calhoun back to back also. Now, Grant Holloway is a very exciting young talent, but he would have won the Olympics on one occasion in 2024. But he also has 3 world championship titles to his credit, the years being 2019, 2022, and 2023. Incidentally, Holloway's PB is 12.81, just 1/100th of a second outside the world record set by Aries Merritt. So overall, Holloway would have 4 global titles, 1 Olympic title and 3 world championship titles. Kingdom would have 2 Olympic titles and Lee Calhoun would have 2 Olympic titles. Then we move on to Allen Johnson with a PB of 12.92. He would have 1 Olympic title. I think he would have won that in 1996 at the Atlanta Games in the United States. And the World Championship titles, though, would have been 1995, 1997, 2001, and 2003. So we're talking about 4 consecutive years, or 4 consecutive global titles, I should say. 4 consecutive global titles, years being 95, 97, 2001, and 2003. Overall, that would mean that Allen Johnson would have 5 global titles. So he would have the most global titles, right? 1 Olympic and 4 world championships. Grant Holloway would have 4 global titles, 1 Olympics and 3 world championship titles. So let me say that again. Allen Johnson would have 5 global titles, 1 Olympics title and 4 world championship titles. Grant Holloway will have 4 global titles, 1 Olympics and 3 world championship titles. And Roger Kingdom would have 2 Olympic titles, no World Championship title. And Lee Calhoun would have had 2 Olympic titles, no global, no World Championship title. Obviously, at the time when Calhoun was brought in, the World Championship was not in progress. It was not in existence. So if we were to look at all of that, who would we rank as the greatest? Would it be Grant Holloway at 12.81 PB with 1 Olympic title and 3 World Championship titles? Would it be Allen Johnson of the US at 12.92 with 1 Olympic title and 4 consecutive World Championship titles, 5 overall? Or would it be Roger Kingdom with 2 Olympic titles, PB of 12.92, or Lee Calhoun with 2 Olympic titles, PB 13.20. If we are going to go by the primacy of the Olympics, then it would be between Roger Kingdom and Lee Calhoun. However, if we were to look at it from an overall global championship situation, then it would come down to Allen Johnson and Grant Holloway. 5 global titles and 4 global titles respectively, and both would have won an Olympic title. So it's not a case that they have only won Olympic title, World Championship title. They also won Olympic title, although singularly. So your guess is as good as mine. But if I were to hazard a guess, I probably would go with Roger Kingdom because of the primacy of the Olympics and the time he posted 12.92. So he would have won. He's the only hurdler to have done it twice, back to back, 1984 and 1988. So if that's the criteria we use, then we go with Roger Kingdom because his PB would have been superior to Lee Calhoun, who would have also won 2 Olympic titles in 1956 and 1960. But if we were to look at it overall in terms of global titles, then Allen Johnson would be the clear favorite with 1 Olympic title and 4 consecutive World Championship titles. And Grant Holloway would be second with 1 Olympic title and 3 World Championship titles and a PB of 12.81. Your guess is as good as mine. Now if we go to the 400 meter hurdles, between Edwin Moses, Glenn Davis, Angelo Taylor, and the Karsten Warholm, then it becomes even that more interesting. And of course, Felix Sanchez. We cannot leave out Felix Sanchez because Edwin Moses is considered to be the most successful athlete in the event, and I'm going to tell you why. He would have won. Moses would have won, I think, twice at the Olympics. He and Sanchez would have done the same, and Glenn Davis. I think they would have won twice at the Olympics in the 400 meter hurdles. And Morgan Taylor, sorry, not Morgan, Angela Taylor. No, there's another one. Morgan Taylor is the only other athlete beside Moses that would have 3 medals at the event. So Moses actually has 2 Olympic gold and 1 Olympic bronze. The other person with that record is Morgan Taylor. He also has 3. He also has 3 medals in the same event. Moses also won 2 World Championship titles in 1983 and in 1987, right? And we must also know that Felix Sanchez also won 2 World Championship titles in the 400 meter hurdles as well. So that would kind of put him and Moses on even keel as far as global titles are concerned, notwithstanding the fact that the tiebreaker could be Moses' bronze medal that Felix did not win in the Olympics. So Moses would have 2 Olympic gold plus a bronze. Sanchez on the other hand would only have 2 Olympic gold. But Moses and Sanchez would have had 2 World Championship gold apiece. Eh? And so this is where we are at. But I think one of the things that we even talk about the things that separate Moses from the others. We have to look at Carsten Warholt also, who is the current world record holder in the event at 45.94. He has 1 Olympic title though, unlike Moses who has 2 Olympic titles. But Warholt has 3 World Championship titles, right, that he would have won between 2017 to 2023, right? And he's the current world record holder. But the thing that would have set, so overall he has 4 titles, right? 1 Olympic and 3 World Championship, that's Carsten Warholt, and he has broken the world record multiple times. Moses would have broken the world record multiple times also, and Moses has more Olympic titles than Carsten Warholt, and he has 1 less World Championship title than Carsten Warholt. But the thing that I would want also to use to separate Edwin Moses from all other 400 meter hurdles specialists is that Moses has the longest unbroken streak in terms of winning. He would have won for 9 years, 9 months, and 9 days, a total of 125 finals between 1977 and 1987. We have not seen anyone in this generation, right, who would have displayed such dominance as Edwin Moses. So in terms of what Moses would have been able to do over an extended period of time that spanned almost a decade, I would put him as the front runner ahead of Carsten Warholt, because let us remember that world records were made to be broken, and at one point Moses was also the world record holder, right? And he would have, as I said, won 2 Olympic titles in the 400 meter hurdles, plus a bronze medal, and 2 World Championship titles. So he has 4 global titles, right, plus a bronze medal, right? And he has the longest unbroken streak of victory, never before seen, never again replicated by any other athlete in the event. So if I were to decide on who I would put as the front runner, it definitely would have to be Edwin Moses. And then I would even want to look at Felix Sanchez, who also has 2 Olympic titles and 2 World Championship titles. There's no way you can discount those individuals. Glenn Davis also and Angela Taylor, they have 2 Olympic titles also, right? But the difference between Glenn Davis and Angela Taylor, when you compare those two with Felix Sanchez and Edwin Moses, is that they don't have World Championship titles. But Felix Sanchez and Edwin Moses have 2 World Championship titles apiece and 2 Olympic titles apiece, right? But the thing with Moses, in terms of his unbeaten streak that spanned 9 years, 9 months, and 9 days, a total of 122 finals between 1977 and 1987, it has no parallel in sporting history. So I would say Moses would come out as the front runner there for me, right? And Carsten Warholt maybe would be in 3rd position, because I would still even rank Felix Sanchez above Carsten Warholt, because Sanchez would have also won 2 Olympic gold and 2 World Championship gold, and the primacy is on the Olympics because it is the highest global championship in athletics. So, you know, this is my 2 cents word for today. Catch you on another YouTube live. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. It is Track and Track and Field Unfiltered 365. And every day we try to come up with some interesting topics which are different from the regular run-of-the-mill topics that people have on YouTube. It's all about disseminating quality information, so that you can chew on and that hopefully you will find interesting. See you on another live. Bye.